call them, if they look very femme presenting, I'll call them she, her, and they'll be like, actually, it's they, them. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I messed up. They're not chastising me. They're not pissed at me. They're not gonna victimize me afterwards.
Great.
And that's a majority of people. If there are people that do feel a sense of defensiveness, it's because there's been a propaganda campaign nationally that's been pushed on these people specifically to target and victimize them. So my big thing is, if we want people to be less defensive and less emotional, why are we fixating so much on it? Why are the people that say they hate pronouns so much talking about pronouns every chance they get?
I just think when we get to 74 different ways of identifying your gender, and one of them is an affinity with the stars, you should all accept it's got ridiculous. And my point of saying things like, I identify as a black lesbian or whatever, is simply to show that if you allow things to be limitless, it goes to ridiculous places. We've had, that Rachel Dolezal story. Do you remember that? Was the white woman pretending to be black, right? It was absolutely absurd. And she led this whole life as a fake person. It's all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To me, it's fueled by a mindset that says anyone can, they use the phrase express themselves, but actually, if your gender identity, and you want people to use this, if we get to 74, 80, 100, right, it becomes, as I point out, completely pointless.
Yeah, but if you're someone who feels this sense that you need to identify as hot and hottest, I'm just gonna call you Pierce. That's really how it is.
Exactly my point.
Yeah, so my thing is—
You've answered my— That's it.
No, exactly, and that's what you can do.
No, you agree.
No, but you're going on a show and you're writing a book specifically highlighting these people. That's the difference.
If it's in this
I'm not making a big stink saying this is the degradation of society. I'm saying that this is somebody who's saying something that I don't totally understand.
I get it.
But just because I don't understand it, I can still respect them.
I know.
I don't have to punch down and specifically target them out.
Let me tell
That's
you,
the difference.
There are a million things more important in life than being concerned about how people call you.
Then don't focus on it, Pierce. Why are you writing a book about it if there's millions of things to concern yourself
with? It's not me
with?
focusing on it.
Why aren't you talking about a genocide happening in Palestine?
Why
aren't you talking about actual victims that are going through hardship? You're writing a book about people who say astrogender, something I've never heard before, and I work in queer spaces.
Mate, time out. I literally do a show every night where I talk about the wars in Ukraine and Gaza and other major issues.
I'm just talking about this topic.
I'm talking about this because I think it was very interesting to me that Donald Trump got reelected. I was like, how has this happened? And I think it was partly immigration, it was partly the economy, and it was partly what the Democrats call the culture, and partly the culture wars, right? A lot of people were fed up with this.
I think it really was a big focus on the economy, and I think you're right there. And I think Trump's version of populism spoke to a lot of people who have been disenfranchised by
also the culture war stuff, it did cut through.
It didn't, though.
Yes, it did.
That's not a big focus.
And I don't meet anybody on the woke left who will admit it. None of you admit it.
Because if you talk about people's economic conditions, they're not going to give a shit of who their neighbors are and what their pronouns identify as.
Right.
They just want to be able to afford meals for their kids
in a way,
and actually get health care.
Exactly. Hence why gender pronouns are pointless.
No, if a certain group of people feel more comfortable, that shouldn't be something we discriminate.
My final surrounding claim is that cancel culture is real and a serious threat to free speech. How are you?
Hey, Pierce, I'm Tyler. Nice to meet
Good to meet you, Tyler.
you. Okay, so I read your book.
Yes, what did you think?
So, I liked it. I liked that you gave, the movie American Fiction the praise it deserves. But, so on page 81, you talk about how you're a liberal who respects free speech. And on that page, you say the Republican Party, and I quote, is ferociously free speech. Yet Donald Trump 2 months ago signed an executive order banning the burning of the American flag. So how does that work?
I don't agree with him.
Yeah, but then how are they ferociously free speech?
I don't agree with him.
No, but no, on your book on page 81, you said they're ferociously